Its range, from the Canadian Yukon to the southern Andes of South America, is the greatest of any large wild terrestrial mammal in the Western Hemisphere. An adaptable, generalist species, the cougar is found in most American habitat types. It is the second heaviest cat in the New World, after the jaguar. Secretive and largely solitary by nature, the cougar is properly considered both nocturnal and crepuscular. Although sightings during daylight hours do occur, the cougar is more closely related to smaller felines, including the domestic cat, than to any species of subfamily Pantheraceae, of which only the jaguar is native to the Americas. The cougar is an ambush predator and pursues a wide variety of prey. Primary food sources are ungulates, particularly deer, but also livestock. It also hunts species as small as insects and rodents. This cat prefers habitats with dense underbrush and rocky areas for stalking, but can also live in open areas. The cougar is territorial and survives at low population densities. Individual territory sizes depend on terrain, vegetation, and abundance of prey. While large, it is not always the apex predator in its range, yielding to the jaguar, gray wolf, American black bear, and grizzly bear. It is reclusive and mostly avoids people. Fatal attacks on humans are rare, but in North America have been increasing in recent years as more people enter their territories. Prolific hunting following European colonization of the Americas and the ongoing human development of cougar habitat has caused populations to drop in most parts of its historical range. In particular, the cougar was extirpated in eastern North America in the beginning of the 20th century, except for an isolated Florida panther subpopulation. However, in recent decades, breeding populations have moved east into the far western parts of the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Oklahoma. Transient males have been verified in Minnesota, Missouri, Wisconsin, Iowa, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and Illinois, where a cougar was shot in the city limits of Chicago and, in at least one instance, observed as far east as coastal Connecticut. Reports of eastern cougars still surface, although it was declared extirpated in 2011. Naming and etymology. With its vast range across the length of the Americas, concolor has dozens of names and various references in the mythology of the indigenous Americans and in contemporary culture. Currently, it is referred to as puma by most scientists and by the populations in 21 of the 23 countries in the Americas where puma is the common name in Spanish or Portuguese. The cat has many local or regional names in the United States and Canada, however, of which cougar, puma, mountain lion, and panther are popular. Mountain lion was a term first used in writing in 1858 from the diary of George A. Jackson of Colorado. Other names include catamount, mountain screamer, and painter. Lexicographers regard painter as a primarily upper southern U.S. regional variant on panther. The word panther is commonly used to specifically designate the black panther, a melanistic jaguar or leopard, and the Florida panther, a subspecies of cougar. P. Concolor holds the Guinness record for the animal with the greatest number of names, over 40 in English alone. Cougar may be borrowed from the archaic Portuguese cucarana. The term was originally derived from the Tupi language sujarana, meaning similar to deer. A current form in Brazil is sucarana. It may also be borrowed from the Guarani language term guacuara or guazuara. Less common Portuguese terms are onca parda or leobaio, or unusually non-native puma or leo da montana. More common names for the animal when native to a region other than South America. People in rural regions often refer to both the cougar and the jaguar as simply gata, and outside of the Amazon, both are colloquially referred to as simply onca by many people. In the 17th century, German naturalist Georg Markgrave named the cat the Cougar. Markgrave's rendering was reproduced by his associate, Dutch naturalist Willem Piso, in 1648. Cougar was then adopted by English naturalist John Ray in 1693. The French naturalist Georges-Louis Leclerc, Comte de Buffon, in 1774 converted the Cougar to Cougar, which was later modified to Cougar in English. The first English record of puma was in 1777, where it had come from the Spanish, who in turn borrowed it from the Peruvian Quechua language in the 16th century, where it means powerful. Taxonomy and evolution. Cougars are the largest of the small cats. They are placed in the subfamily Felinae, although their bulk characteristics are similar to those of the big cats in the subfamily Pantheraceae. The family Felidae is believed to have originated in Asia about 11 million years ago. Taxonomic research on felids remains partial, and much of what is known about their evolutionary history is based on mitochondrial DNA analysis. As cats are poorly represented in the fossil record, and significant confidence intervals exist with suggested dates, in the latest genomic study of the Felidae, the common ancestor of today's leopardus, lynx, puma, prionales, and Felis lineages migrated across the Bering Land Bridge into the Americas 8.0 to 8.5 million years ago. The lineages subsequently diverged in that order. North American felids then invaded South America through Maya as part of the Great American Interchange, following formation of the Isthmus of Panama. The cougar was originally thought to belong in Felis, the genus which includes the domestic cat. As of 1993, it is now placed in puma along with the jaguarundi, a cat just a little more than a tenth its weight. The cougar and jaguarundi are most closely related to the modern cheetah of Africa and Western Asia, but the relationship is unresolved. The cheetah lineage is suggested by some studies to have diverged from the puma lineage in the Americas and migrated back to Asia and Africa, while other research suggests the cheetah diverged in the Old World itself. The outline of small feline migration to the Americas is thus unclear. A high level of genetic similarity has recently been found among North American cougar populations, suggesting they are all fairly recent descendants of a small ancestral group. Culver et al. Proposed the original North American population of P. concolor was extirpated during the Pleistocene extinctions some 10,000 years ago, when other large mammals, such as Smilodon, also disappeared. North America was then repopulated by a group of South American cougars subspecies until the late 1980s. As many as 32 subspecies were recorded. However, a recent genetic study of mitochondrial DNA found many of these are too similar to be recognized as distinct at a molecular level. Following the research, the canonical mammal species of the world recognizes 6 subspecies, 5 of which are solely found in Latin America. Argentine cougar Pokake, 1940, includes the previous subspecies and synonyms Hudsoni and Puma. Costa Rican cougar Merriam, 1901. Eastern South American cougar Nelson and Goldman, 1931, includes the previous subspecies and synonyms Acropodia, Bourbonsis, Capricornensis, Concolor, Greener, and Nigra. North American cougar Kerr, 1792, includes the previous subspecies and synonyms Arundavaga, Aztecus browni, Californica, Floridana, Hippalestes, Improcera, Kyberbensis, Myensis, Missoulanesis, Olympus oregonensis, Chaudhary, Stanleyana, Vancouverensis, and Youngie. Northern South American cougar Linnaeus, 1771, includes the previous subspecies and synonyms Bangsi, Incarim, Osgoodi, Soashuarana, Sosharana, Sodistromi, Suquacuara, and Wavula. Southern South American cougar Molina, 1782, includes the previous subspecies and synonyms Aricanus, Concolor, Patagonica, Pearsoner, and Puma. Incerticedus Florida panther. The status of the Florida panther remains uncertain. It is still regularly listed as subspecies P. C. Corey in research works, including those directly concerned with its conservation. Culver et al. Noted low microsatellite variation in the Florida panther, possibly possibly due to inbreeding. Responding to the research, one conservation team suggests the degree to which the scientific community has accepted the results of Culver et al.